Good morning, dear students. In today's video, we are going to study about your lesson number 25 of your civics. That's about the state government. And this chapter we have divided into two parts. That is part 1 and part 2. That means we shall be discussing this chapter in two parts of the videos. In the first part, I shall be trying to explain you the half of the chapter, and in the next part, the rest half of the chapter will be explained. So let's start. The state government has more or less the same structure as that of the central government. What we can understand from here is that the structure of the central government, or the power and functions or the duties of the central government, is almost the same as the state government. The difference is only on their area of work. The central government, it works for the entire country, and the state government, it works only for a particular state. It has three organs. As in the central government it has got three organs: the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. In the same way, the state government, it also has got three organs: the state legislature, the state executive, as well as the state judiciary. Now we are coming to the first point, the state legislature. We can say the legislature, it has been divided into two houses. One is known as the Vidhan Sabha, another one is known as the Vidhan Parishad. The Vidhan Sabha, it is also known as the lower house of the parliament, and the Vidhan Parishad, it is also known as the upper house of the parliament. In our country, in India, some states have only one house of the parliament, that is the Vidhan Sabha. We can say Vidhan Sabha, it is a common house for all the states. Vidhan Sabha, it is also known as the legislative assembly or the lower house of the parliament. But some other states have the lower house, that's the Vidhan Sabha, as well as the upper house known as the Vidhan Parishad. As I already told you, upper house of the parliament, it is also known as the Vidhan Parishad, is there in some states, not in all the states. Like in, we can say in UP it is there, in Bihar it is there, in Maharashtra it is there. In some states, the Vidhan Parishad or the legislative council, it exists. Legislatures with one house are called as unicameral, and two houses are called bicameral. So when we are discussing about the state legislature, as I already told you, that the legislature, it consisted of two houses: the lower house, which is known as the Vidhan Sabha, and the upper house, which is known as the Vidhan Parishad. The states which have only one house, that is the lower house or the Vidhan Sabha, they are known as the unicameral legislatures. And the states which have both the houses, that the legislature as well as the legislative council, they are known as the bicameral legislature. We shall be dealing with this in the later part of this chapter. So now you just need to understand about the state legislature, that the state legislature, it has got two houses. One is lower house, which is known as Vidhan Sabha. Another one is upper house, which is known as the Vidhan Parishad. The Vidhan Sabha, it is there in all the states, and the Vidhan Parishad, which is also known as the upper house, it existed in some of the states. Well, the next point that we are going to discuss is about formation of Vidhan Parishad. How the members of the Vidhan Parishad are generally elected, that we are going to study now. I have taken here 5 points, as you can see here: point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, and point 5. Let me tell you, the members of the Vidhan Parishad are not directly elected by the people. We already studied, or we already got in our previous videos of the previous chapters, that generally in the democratic countries, we elect our representative by ourselves to the process of election, and with the help of the universal adult franchise. But we can say Vidhan Parishad, as we already studied, that it is not compulsory for all the states. So for the election of the members of the Vidhan Parishad, some different procedures are there. How the members of the Vidhan Parishad are elected, it is given here. See, 1/3 of the total membership is elected by an electoral college. You have to know what is the meaning of electoral college. Electoral college, it consists members of municipal committees and district boards and the different other local governments. We can say 1/3. If the total membership is 300, for example, if the total membership is 300, 1/3 of this 300, that equal to 100. These 100 members will be elected by the electoral college, and the members of this electoral college, they are from the municipal committees, district boards, the local governments, panchayats, these all. They would elect the 100 members or the 1/3 members of the Vidhan Parishad. Second point, 1/3 of the total membership are elected by the members of the Vidhan Sabha. About Vidhan Sabha and their election we are going to study later on. So 1/3 of the total membership of the Vidhan Parishad would be elected by the total members of the Vidhan Sabha. The members of the Vidhan Sabha, they will cast their votes for the election of the another 1/3 of the members of the Vidhan Parishad. Next comes 1/6. 1/6 of the total membership are nominated by the state governor. You know, governor is the head of the state. We can say he is the constitutional head of a particular state, and 1/6 of the total membership would be nominated by the state governor. About the governor, his power and other things we are going to discuss in the second part of this video. Then comes 1/12. 1/12 of them are elected by the teachers of 3 years standing of the higher secondary schools and colleges. We can say, you know very well that in every state government schools and colleges are there. The teachers who have been working in the higher secondary schools as well as colleges for at least 3 years, they would cast their votes for electing 1/12 of the total membership of the members of the Vidhan Parishad. And the last one is here. Rest of the 1/12 of the total numbers are elected by the graduates. You know, graduates who have already completed their graduation like BA, BCom or BSc. They would cast their votes to elect the rest 1/12 of the total membership of the Vidhan Parishad. So we can say here, or we can conclude here, 1/3 are elected by the electoral college. I already told you, electoral college means they are the members of the municipal committees or the district boards or the local governments. Next 1/3, they would be elected by the members of the Vidhan Sabha, which would be explained later on. 1/6, rest 1/6 of the total membership of the Vidhan Parishad, they would be nominated by the governor. 1/12 will be elected by the teachers who have been working in the higher secondary schools or the colleges for at least 3 years, and 1/12 of the rest of the total membership of the Vidhan Parishad, they would be elected by the graduates. That's about the election procedure or the formation of the Vidhan Parishad. Now we can say that was the procedure of the election of the Vidhan Parishad. Now comes the question about total numbers. How many members can be there in the Vidhan Parishad? We can say the total membership should not be more than 1/3 of the total membership of the Vidhan Sabha. That means we can say the number of members of the Vidhan Parishad, it entirely depends on the number of members of the Vidhan Sabha. If in the Vidhan Sabha there are 300 members, and as it is told that it should not exceed 1/3. 1/3 of 300 is 100. In a particular state, if the total number of members in the Vidhan Sabha is 300, then we can say the numbers of members in the Vidhan Parishad cannot exceed the number of 100. which subject a matter that the minimum number in the Vidhan Parishad should be 40. That's about the minimum and maximum number of the members in the Vidhan Parishad. Okay, now the next point is formation of the Vidhan Sabha. As I already told you before some time, we already discussed about the formation or the election procedure of the Vidhan Parishad. Now we are going to discuss about how the members of Vidhan Sabha are generally elected. It's very simple. The Vidhan Sabha of a state can have a maximum of 500 members. First of all, let me tell you what is the maximum number of members in the Vidhan Sabha and what is the minimum numbers. The maximum numbers in the Vidhan Sabha is 500 and the minimum number is 60. As you can see here, the maximum number is 500 and minimum number is 60, but it depends. Depending on the population of some states, the number of 60, it may be less than that, it may be 40, it may be 50. It depends on the population of the particular state concerned. And also you should know the Vidhan Sabha, which is also known as the Legislative Assembly, and their members are known as the MLAs. What is the full form of MLAs? Member of Legislative Assemblies. And how they are elected, see, it's given here. The first point, all the citizens cast their votes through the process of universal adult franchise. I already told you, I already explained about universal adult franchise in your previous videos, that all the people whose age is 18 years or more than that, they can cast their votes in the election. So we can say the members of Vidhan Sabha, they are directly elected by the people or by the citizens of the country. Means all the people, whatever be their religion, their caste, their language, they can cast their votes for the election of the MLAs or the member of the Vidhan Sabha. Second point, people of all castes, creeds and colors commonly elect their representatives. There is no scope for separate electorate on the basis of religion. We can say in the process of electing the members of the Vidhan Sabha, there is no separate systems on the basis of religion or caste or creed. All the people may be in one community or in one locality. Hindus may be in majority, or in community Muslims may be in majority, but they cannot cast their votes only for a particular community. They have to choose their common representatives. Means all the religions, all the caste, creed, they all are given equality for electing the members of the Vidhan Sabha. Third one, the system of secret ballot is adopted. It was already explained in your previous videos about the secret ballot system, that in the secret ballot system, the voters, they can cast their votes freely and without any fear. Nobody can come to know about to whom a particular person or a particular citizen has casted the votes. So the secret ballot system is also adopted in the election procedure of the members of the Vidhan Sabha. Next comes the last point. Some seats are reserved for the members of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. You know very well that in our society or in our community, the people are divided into different castes. The scheduled caste people or the scheduled tribe people, they are regarded as the backward class people of the society, and for their development, for bringing them equal to the other caste of the people, some seats, some percentages of seats are reserved for this scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. That's about the election procedure of the different for the election of the members of the Vidhan Sabha. Now comes who is the head of the head of the Vidhan Sabha, what is his duty, this all. We can say once the election is over and the result is declared, the members elect its speaker. We can say speaker, he is the head of the Vidhan Sabha, and after him or in his absence, the deputy speaker takes the place of the speaker. The speaker performs various functions. What are the functions of speaker? Once the elections are over, then the members of the Vidhan Sabha, they would sit and they would elect or they would select one speaker for their leader, and then the speaker, he needs to perform different functions. I have taken here 5 functions. You can see here the first function is here. He presides over the meetings of the legislative assembly. Whenever any meeting of the legislative assembly or the Vidhan Sabha has to be organized, that has to be presided over, that has to be organized by the speaker. That's the first function. The second function is here. Bills can be passed only with his permission. If the members of the Vidhan Sabha wants to pass any bill or any law, it has to be passed only with the permission of the speaker. Without the permission of the speaker, the bill cannot be passed. The third point, he allows time to members to speak in the Vidhan Sabha. I hope you have seen the scene of the parliament in TV or in news channels. Whenever the parliament is in session, the members of the Vidhan Sabha, they are given time to speak on different issues, and that time will be allotted only by the speakers. That's the speaker. He will allot the time to the different members to speak on the Vidhan Sabha. Third one. The fourth one is he maintains discipline in the Vidhan Sabha. Whenever any meeting will be organized in the Vidhan Sabha, the discipline and decorum will be maintained by the speaker. That's the fourth function. And the last one is he calls for vote on bills as well as on other motions. Whenever any bill will be introduced in the Vidhan Sabha, the speaker, he will ask to vote for the bills. If maximum vote is passed for the bill will be passed as a law, and if it is not passed, that will be cancelled. So these are the functions of the speaker of the Vidhan Sabha. The last part of today's video that we are going to study is here, relation between the Vidhan Sabha and the Vidhan Parishad. We already discussed Vidhan Parishad, it is not compulsory for all the states. It is also known as the upper house, and Vidhan Sabha, it is known as the lower house. Let's see, I have cited here 3 points. The first point, a Vidhan Sabha is a must for every state. As I already told you, Vidhan Sabha, it must be there in all the states. All our states in our country, they must have the Vidhan Sabha, while a Vidhan Parishad is only optional. Vidhan Parishad, it's just one optional one. If the maximum of the numbers of Vidhan Sabha, they want to have the Vidhan Parishad, they can have it. And even in the presence of the Vidhan Parishad, if maximum of the members of the Vidhan Sabha, they do not want the existence of the Vidhan Parishad, they even can abolish it or they can cancel it. That's the first relation. Second one, a Vidhan Parishad has only nominal power. The real power exists with the Vidhan Sabha. We can say the power of the Vidhan Parishad is only nominal. It's not real. The actual power or the real power, it's there with the hand of the Vidhan Sabha. The third one is a money bill can be introduced only in the Vidhan Sabha. If any bill has to be introduced in any of the house of the parliament, the money bill, especially the money bill, it has to be introduced only in the Vidhan Sabha, not in the Vidhan Parishad. So from here we can understand that the power of the Vidhan Sabha is much more than the power of the Vidhan Parishad. So that's about our first video. So in our first video we have discussed about the state legislature. As it was already told you that the state government, it has been divided into 3 organs: legislature, executive and judiciary. So in our first video we have discussed only about the legislature. In our second video we are going to study about the executive as well as the judiciary. Now after watching the video, you need to go through the chapter. There may be many important points, you need to underline them, and if there is any doubt, you please get it clear from me. Thank you very much.